making progress. We're on problem 28. And guys, I hope that you are watching these because they will help you get prepared for your test on Friday. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to see if I can get a little more in focus there. There we go. That looks like a little better. Factor the denominators. This one factors by GCF. This is the same, factors by GCF. And figure out what my excluded values are. X can't be 1 because that would make that 0 and that 0 and that 0. And X can't be 0 because of that. So put brackets around the whole thing. And I put my common denominator out in front. My common denominator has to represent every piece in the denominator. So it has to have an X and it has to have an X minus 1. So X minus 1, X minus 1, X minus 1, X, that takes care of all of it. Alright. Now, this X minus 1 cancels that X minus 1. So I have the leftover X times 5X plus 30 equals, here both cancel both. So I'm left with X squared minus 25. Here, both cancel both. So I'm left with X squared plus 2X minus 24. I'm going to factor everything out. X times 5X is 5X squared. I'm going to fool everything out. X times 30 is 30X. Over here I'm going to combine like terms. X squared and X squared is 2X squared. There's 2X. Negative 25 and negative 24 make negative 49. Now my X squareds will not cancel in this problem. So this is going to be a quadratic problem. I've got to get everything equal to 0. So I'm going to move it all that direction, which will give me a positive. So when I subtract 2, I have 3X squared. Subtract 2X, that gives me 28X. Add 49 equals 0. This is a general trinomial. There is no GCF. So remember the rules of general trinomial. I multiply 3 times 49, and that gives me 147. And I need the factors of 147 that will give me 28. Well, I can see, just looking at it, that it's going to be 7 and 21. Because 7 times 21 is 147. 7 plus 21 is 28. So do my box. 3X squared, 49, 7X, 21X, and I'll slide it in a minute for Ryan and for Caleb. I think Caleb likes the slide too. These two have in common an X. These two have in common a 7. The power player's positive. These two have in common a 3X. These two have in common a 7. So this factors 3X plus 7, X plus 7. Now let me slide it for those of you that like the slide. And if there's anybody that's not one of my students out here watching, I don't really know why you would be, but maybe you needed some help with rational equations and you searched and found me. This is a technique of factoring that is called the slide. I don't like it very much, but it does work. You take that 3 and you slide it down there by multiplying, and that gives you the 147. Then you factor it like a normal trinomial, x and x, and it's the same two numbers we got before, 21 and 7. Then you slide that 3 again underneath both of the constants, and you reduce if you can. 21 divided by 3 is 7. If you can't reduce, you slide the 3 again. I don't like it because it's not mathematical in the middle. It is and it isn't. I'm not going into math theory. But anyway, got the same answer. Okay, so solve these baby equations. From here, I get x equals negative 7. That's not an excluded value, so I'm still good. From here, if you're doing it in your head, 3x plus 7 equals 0. Move the 7 to the other side, and you would have 3x equals negative 7. Divide both sides by 3, so x would be negative 7/3. It's not an excluded value, so those are my answers, negative 7/3 and negative 7. And that's problem 28. Apparently my phone is turned off, so I'm just going to stop here. My husband's trying to call me. I'm going to stop on problem 28, stop my recording, and then I'll do 29, 30, and 31.